Hello, I welcome you to this video. In this video, I'll be showing you how to create this kind of spotlight. You model it in Revit, then you give it a lighting capability in Lumion. At the end of this video, you should be able to create something like this. Without wasting your time, let's get started. The first thing I will do is to open a new family. I'm going to click on the application menu and click on hover my cursor on new. Then I'll click on this small arrow here and it will take me to family. Click to open, and the family we want to use is generic face base. Let me look for generic face base. Okay, this is it here, generic model face base. I don't want us to use ceiling, because if we use face base, it can be placed on any face at all. But if we use ceiling, that means it is only ceiling we can place it on. So let's use generic model face base and click open. Then the first thing we'll do is to change the project unit to millimeter. I'll change it to millimeter here and click OK. And if you look at it in 3D now, it's just a box that you can see. This box represents the face you are going to place it on. This box is not going to show in your project. It's just a representative of where you are going to place it on. Okay, so the kind of light fixtures we want to model now is a type that is going to be placed on ceiling. We want to place it on ceiling. It will be like a spotlight. So what I'll do now is to create extrusion. While I am on the plan, I go to create, then select extrusion and select cycle and pick from the center. The light fixture we want to model should not be too big. The diameter should be around 150 mm. So if the diameter is 150 mm, that means the radius is 75, and press enter. Then I may want to have a depth for it, so I can offset it. Let me select graphics. I don't want to specify any thickness now, so maybe something like this, and finish it. Then the material, we will select the material to be, let's say I give it a name as light body. That is the body of the light. And if I like, I can select off-white for the color and click OK. And let's look at it in 3D. Okay, so I am going to go to the elevation and drag it down, because I want it to be hidden inside this I want it to be hidden inside the face, whatever face we are placing it on. I want it to be hidden. Okay, that's why if we look at it now, we can only see the point where it is, because we are going to be hiding it inside the ceiling. Okay, then the next thing I will do is to create the shader. I want to create a shader, something that will look like a rim around it. And what I can use there is sweep. I'll use sweep to create that. So I go to create, I will select sweep and sketch path. I pick path, or for me to be able to get the profile, let me start from rectangle first so that I can get the profile right before I make it circular. Okay, now I will edit the profile. I can work on it from the left. Okay, now let's assume I can, if the width of the shader is going to be very small, it's not going to be too much, like 12 mm or 10 mm. Okay, let's say 12 mm, and like that. Let me create some curve around it. And curve, just need some curve there. Not too much. Then let's trim this, and we can finish it. And let's look at it in 3D. Okay, can you see what we have done now? Let's try to make it circular now, to fit into that circular part we have just created. So I can delete this one now and create another one. It will still maintain its profile. And let's finish it. Yeah, that is it. Let's change it to shaded. Okay, that is that. Then I want to create a hole inside this. Let me create a hole. So I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to the floor plan and select create. Then I'll select void extrusion, and I'm going to pick line, and I'm going to make it lock, and the depth can be, let's say the depth can be 150. Okay, then I can pick from here the second line. Okay, and let's look at it in 3D, and we'll select cut so that it can cut this. Okay, it has not gone into the model yet. Let's go to the approach. Okay, you can see I want to select that void extrusion. That void extrusion has been selected now, so I will drag it into the model so that it will open the model. Okay, and while it is selected, I'm going to hit on cut so that it has opened the model. You can see that model is opened now. Can you see it? Yeah, it has opened the model. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is we want to create the light, where the light is coming from. We want to indicate the lighting. Okay, so and I want to make it a sort of dome. I want it to look like a dome. So I am going to go to approach, and now you can see the depth of the void. If I like, I take it down a little bit. Okay, and the void has to go over the model a little bit so that it will be able to cut the model. All right, now let's select create again. This time around, what we are going to use is revolve, because we want to make it a dome. So we'll be revolving around an axis. Let's select our axis. Our axis will be on this center line. And now let's create our boundary. And I'm going to be using curve. I'll take it up a little bit because I don't want it to be flat. And go inside the model a little and make it a sort of curve, gentle curve. Okay, and this time I can select straight, then I can select another curve again if I like, and let's close it. And in closing it, let me off my thin line. I am going to move this one a little bit away from the center so that it will not give us error, because if it does not, if it's exactly at the center, it will give us error when we finish the model. So I'll move it a little bit away from the center so that it will create a small hole, but the hole will not be visible. All right, so the material I will use, I'm going to rename the material. Let's say I can select glass and duplicate it. I will name it as light. So this is where the light is going to come from. And I am going to change the color to maybe white. Make it white and click OK. Then the transparency, I'm going to knock down the transparency and not make it 0. It will be a little bit transparent, but not completely transparent. and click OK. Then let's finish it and let's look at it in 3D. Here you go. You can see. Okay, you can see now. All right. Okay, now we are done with the modeling. And if I like, if you want to render your work in Revit, then you can make this material okay. So we are done with the modeling of the. Let's save our work. Let's save file, save as family. Then we'll select our folder and name it as ceiling light, ceiling spotlight. And on the option, we'll select just one backup and hit save, and it's saved. Let's try and load it into any open project at the background. Okay, let me try and load it into this project and click OK. Okay, now it is loaded into this project now. It's inside this veranda and I click. You can see there it's already placed on that floor. Okay, any material you want to place it on, it will stay there. Now let me drag this one out. Let me drag this one out. Okay, let's say I want to place it somewhere here. Let's assume I want to place it here. It's a question of going to load architecture, then select place a component, and this is the ceiling spotlight we have just created. So I can go to the center of this ceiling if I want to place it on the center, or let's say I want to make 4 of it. I can place 4 like that. Now we have 5 now. If I like, I can delete this one at the center, and if I want to position it properly, I go to ceiling level, ceiling plans, then I want to go to where I can see that light. Okay, you can see them here. I want to position them right, and like that. I want to align them properly. All right, I think it's not okay. I still need to move this one a little bit to the center. All right, okay, now let's look at it in 3D now. You can see there, you can see the light there. Okay, now let's try and load this project into Lumion, and let me save it as colloidal file, export, as colloidal file and click export, and let me give it a name, spotlight ceiling spotlight tutorial, and click save. Okay, now that I can still see my project, I'm going to go to photo mode and snap this view so that at any point in time I lose it, I can always come back here. Then let me click on the Q key to move it down a little bit. I can use my right mouse button and pressing O key to turn it, then use A key to move it to the right, and use roller to roll it backward. Now that it's properly placed, now I'm going to store camera. Okay, now I can go to build mode now. Yeah, now you can see those lights we have created before. You can see them, but they are not very visible now. So what we want to do now is we want to add material to it. So I select material and try to locate where those lights are, and here they are. You can see these are the lights we have created before. I select it, and while those lights are selected, I apply standard material to it. And this standard material, I am going to go to under settings. I will make it emissive. I will drag the emissivity up. You can see it is looking like a light now, though it's not lighting, but it's producing some lighting effect. And we are done with that one. Then you remember we have a rim around it. Okay, actually we're supposed to give our that rim a material, but since we have not given, we'll update it later. Now let's apply a material to it, and for this one let me make it a sort of metal. Let me select on the interior, I go to metal. Let's say I want it to look like aluminum, and select aluminum, and this time around this one is not going to be emissive because it's simply the rim. Then the welding, I'm going to increase the welding to I'll increase the welding to just a little, and the edges small, and I make it, let me make it, okay, let me select gold, and we'll finish it. Okay, now for the light, now let me increase the emissivity now so that it will be more visible. Under the setting, I will drag the emissivity up so the bloom effect will be more visible. Okay, then let's finish the material. Okay, now what we want to do now is we want to place real light there now, because these ones are not producing real light. So we want to add a real light, and I select on the place mode, I select light, then I select place, and maybe I want to use any of these spotlights will be okay. I select this one and simply drop it at that point where you have those light fixtures. Okay, so I'm going to place another one here on this point, the four spaces, that is it. Then let me select. Okay, I need another one here. Now let me place another one on this, place another one here. Okay, and I'll delete this particular one. This one is out of place. Okay, now let's look at it in photo mode. Now let's go to our photo mode. You can see now, assuming I move it up now, you can see the light effect, and the light is even showing on the wall and showing that it is actually a light. Okay, it's a real light. Okay, so that is how you can create that kind of spotlight in Lumion. Let me try and knock down the brightness a little bit. It's too bright. Let me knock down the brightness, and the cone angle. Select this one, knock down the brightness and the cone angle, then select this one, knock down the brightness, select this one, reduce the cone angle. Okay, now let's go to our photo mode now. Let's select none, deselect all, and go to our photo mode. There we go. You can see, and if I like, I can still place another light. Let me place another light so that that light will look at the ceiling, and because that place is dark, select place, and let's select line light, line, and place it somewhere here, and select it, increase the width, increase the length, then increase the length and the width, and let's rotate it so that it will look upward. Assuming I drag this one to 0, okay, it doesn't have effect on that. Then let's try this. If I drag this one to this point, You can now see that it's looking up now. Okay, now I will move it down. I will select and move it down. Select this one and drag it down, or up a little bit, and knock down the brightness. Okay, the brightness should not be much. That is that. And let's look at it in photo mode now. All right, I think it's better now. We have some brightness that you can spend time with it and play with the lighting so that you can until you get it right. Okay, all right, thank you for watching this video and see you in the next video. Bye.